Another week of comics are in the books, and today I am bringing you my weekly top 3 video. This is the video series where I review each and every single one of the books on my pull list and give you my top 3 books of the week towards the end of the video. Thank you everybody for checking this video out. I'm Alex. This is Graphic Novel Collector, and if you enjoy almost daily comic book videos and graphic novel videos, this is the place for you. I don't want to waste any time though. Let's jump into this list and let's start with none other than Psylocke. This is issue number 1. I did get a variant cover by Marvel, of course, and this is done by writer Alyssa Wong, artist Vincenzo Carato, and colorist Fernando Suffantes. I'm sorry, I'm probably butchering all of that. But first off, I just want to say, look at this gorgeous art within the pages of this amazing book. I really enjoyed this. I do want to preface this entire video by saying all of these books this week that I read were really, really good and could be contenders for top 3. I have, I think, 6 or 7 books. And if you know how numbers work, you can't put all 6 or 7 books in the top 3. It just doesn't work. But yes, this is an awesome, awesome book. We start this story by these X-Men led by Cyclops, all chilling, and they're waiting on Psylocke to get back. She was on a mission, and she rescued this young girl who has apparently a politician father who wants to, let's just say, doesn't like mutants. Anyway, they get back, and Kid Omega's just being an absolute jabroni to Psylocke because she was late to this meeting. And basically, what Cyclops says is, you're staying home for this mission. So she's like, all right, cool, I'm going to go shack up with Greycrow, John Greycrow, and they have little, she's having some PTSD or something's going on where she's dreaming about when she was a kid. Anyways, then she decides to get some intel and she goes to a party where they are like auctioning off kids. I don't know if these are young mutants or what. I think they probably are. It might even have said it within the pages of the book, but just look at this beautiful, beautiful coloring and the kinetic energy within the art. I absolutely loved it. I absolutely love this book, and I was surprised. I took it because, again, if you watch my preview video, I'm a guy from the 90s. I grew up with Psylocke, and yeah, she's awesome. She's badass. She's sexy. She's a badass, sexy ninja lady. And yeah, Psylocke, this book was actually really good, though. I really, really enjoyed it. Expecting it to not be as good as it was, and I was very, very pleasantly surprised. Psylocke issue 1. I'm going to pick up issue 2, and I'm super stoked for that. Next up, we have Absolute Batman issue number 2. Of course, this is by Scott Snyder and Nick Dragotta, the pretty much all-star team here. I did get the Daniel Warren Johnson cover. I do like that DC is giving you the main cover, so they're basically putting an overshield over the actual comic, so you're getting kind of 2 extra pages. Regardless, this book was pretty darn good. We continue the storylines from the first issue, and it was good. Batman, big bats sitting here beating down some of the Black Mask gang. And then we cut to this amazing panel. Look at that absolutely gorgeous panel. That's such an awesome, awesome panel. But basically, Black Mask Gang coming in, messing stuff up. Mayor Gordon here is in the hospital from the last, issue where he basically he sacrificed himself to fight the Black Mask Gang. And then you see here, I do want to point this out. Yo, DC, what's up with this? My book's broke. Look at that. It's middle page. Beautiful all-in spread. But, yeah, what the heck? But basically, Bruce goes back to Crime Alley and is playing cards with all of his buddies. And basically, Catwoman, Selina Kyle, is not there. And they're talking about that, where she could be. But Batman goes back out and links up with Alfred. And yeah, after beating up a bunch more of the Black Mask gang, they get to a point, and we do see, this is probably the thing that is going to, you're either going to love or hate about this book, is we do see the Absolute Universe's version of the Batmobile, and it's a huge dump truck, essentially. I mean, it's a massive, massive truck. And then there is a reveal on the last page. I'm not going to show that off. I want you to read these books. But overall, I thought this was another solid issue of Absolute Batman. I'm going to give it a solid 3 stars because it was a good continuation, action-packed. We're starting to see how these characters interact within this new DC Absolute universe, and I'm really liking it. I hope that the Absolute brand continues to put out bangers. Pennyworth just wants to get out of, Alfred just wants to get out of Gotham. He wants to finish his mission. He wants to finish collecting intel on the Black Mask gang. But as we start to see within the pages of this second issue, he's starting to develop a relationship with Bruce Wayne. So we shall see what happens here. But I'm really digging Batman. It's dumb, it's bombastic, it's cool, it's dumb in a good way. I mean that in an endearing way. Don't take my words and, switch the context. It's a fun read. I really enjoyed Absolute Batman issue number 2. Next up, we have Transformers issue number, 14, and this is kind of a subplot continuing that backstory of Starscream, and this one he's interacting with humans, and yeah, this one was awesome. This was another banger issue, and I'm really loving it. Transformers never disappoints. Daniel Warren Johnson, of course, on this book with Jason Howard. Jason Howard did the art on the last issue as well, so he seemingly is getting this little mini arc, this 2-story arc about Starscream. And then Mike Spicer, of course, on the beautiful colors rather. This is, of course, by Skybound and Image. I probably should mention that. But yeah, of course, Daniel Warren Johnson absolutely crushing it. We have the second issue, and Starscream last issue got his legs all blown up. And yeah, they attached him to a tank. I don't know. So Starscream, of course, is super pissed off about this and wants his legs back and is like, "Where are my legs, you filthy humans?" And yeah, basically the leader of this group is saying, you're not going to kill me, because if you do, there's detonators within your body now, because when we put you all back together, yeah, and it's linked to my heartbeat. So if I die, you die. So touche. But yeah, basically what happens is Starscream, we find, I forget the name of the, Astrorian is the name of the, well, here, I guess I could look. Yeah, Astrorian is here, all chained up. Soundwave kind of put him there, chained him up, and obviously there's dissension in the Decepticons. So basically what this issue is about is Soundwave gathering forces to really fight against the Decepticons, because he's pissed off at Soundwave that Soundwave messed him up so bad several issues ago. And as you can see, Blastoff, Brawl, and Onslaught all are in this issue, and yeah, it looks like we're going to have some civil war here with the Decepticons, so that should be pretty interesting. This was another great issue. Basically, I'm loving Transformers. It was revealed in this issue, though, that yeah, all those things that they put in Starscream's body, yeah, well, they were taken out, and then Starscream's like, "No, I won't hurt any of you. I made a deal. I won't hurt any of you." And immediately, like, squish. Yeah. You're not getting let go. you made a deal with the devil, essentially, and Starscream murks basically all of the humans that helped him and put him back together. But this was an awesome issue. 3.5 stars. I really enjoyed it. And yeah, Transformers continues to be just one of the best books this year, and will definitely be in my top 10 video for best books of the year. Next up, we have the top 3. But before we get there, if you're enjoying this kind of content, make sure to like the video. Comment down below what books you picked up, what books you like on my video, and of course, hit that subscribe button. Consider hitting that subscribe button, and if you do, set it to all so you don't miss out on content like this. Okay, top 3. Top 3 time we have, I can't believe I'm saying this, but The Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 61, Legacy issue 955. This is by Joe Kelly, and McGinnis is on the art, and holy moly, folks. I am so happy there is a good freaking Amazing Spider-Man book now. I'm really excited. This book was awesome. This book was really awesome. 8 Deaths of Spider-Man looks like it's going to be an absolute banger. We lead off with Peter Parker starting saving somebody who is apparently named Burnout, which has some pretty funny implications. And of course, Spider-Man mentions it like, oh, you're a burnout, so you're kind of like not great, and you're kind of a burnout. But yeah, he saves him. And then, of course, Dr. Doom, we knew this was going to come. Dr. Doom here saying, I need you to become basically a fighter, basically a warrior in this world. There is a cameo here by Krytarok, I think is their name. Anyways, let's see. It's this person right here. Actually, there we go. That's a good visual of them. And basically, he's beating the crap out of Spider-Man. And in Spider-Man's last dying moment, basically, Dr. Doom comes back and is like, hey, do you want to take my offer? Because earlier in the issue, he offered him, like, I need you to participate in this basically gauntlet, and I need you to do this. And in this moment, at first he was like, no, I don't want to do it. And in this moment, it's like, I accept. Of course you do, because Doom wills it. And of course, Doom... I love the way that Dr. Doom talks. But yeah, this was sweet. And basically, we go through the story here, and Doom explains to him why exactly he needs Peter Parker. He needs somebody. And basically, Dr. Doom's like, look, the Sorcerer Supreme, Doctor Strange, used to do this, right? Used to do this on his own, but my time is more valuable than that. So, of course, just being as Dr. Doomy as he can. I'm not going to show off the new suit because it is really sick. But basically, Peter gets these things called the Reeds of Ragador. And they are essentially, you get to restart your life. Not restart your life, but you get to come back. And there is, I'm going to show this off. This brutal scene where Peter's coming back. And look at that. It looks painful. It looks absolutely painful. Comes back to life. And basically, each time he fights a member of this, these trials that he has to go through to save Earth and save their universe, he's basically going to have to die. So 8 Deaths of Spider-Man. This was the first one. It was awesome. I really love, I really love what Joe Kelly's doing here. The art was beautiful. No more John Romita Jr., thankfully. But yeah, I'm absolutely loving 8 Deaths of Spider-Man. This is definitely in my top 3. 3.5 stars, so close to 4, but I'll call it 3.5 because I just got to be pretty strict on these books. But yeah, no, it was good. It was good. I absolutely enjoyed it. Amazing Spider-Man, issue 61. Next up at number 2, we have G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe. This book. First off, I want to preface this. If I knew as much as I feel a lot of other comic book readers right now, know about G.I. Joe and have that nostalgia for G.I. Joe, this would have probably been number one because it was a fantastic book. I'm giving it 4 stars. Before we get into actually what the book was about. But this was written by Joshua Williamson, Tom Riley on the art, and Jordie Bellaire on the colors. And Jordie Bellaire absolutely crushing it on the colors. Obviously, Tom Riley kills it on art, but look at the colors in this book. Absolutely stunning. Some monochromatic vibes. Absolutely gorgeous. But to get back to what I was saying, I was born in the 90s. So I don't have the nostalgia or reverence for G.I. Joe that some of you may have. That being said, I did recognize this book was awesome. I did want to check it out. We've got Duke, Baroness, Clutch, CoverGirl, Hawk. I mean, there's a ton of characters. Rock and Roll Stalker. There's a ton of characters in here. And even though I didn't know exactly who was who going throughout this book, it was very clear to me that, oh man, we're building something really, really epic here. And Duke talks to one of his higher-ups. And basically, Duke is kind of down on his team at first, saying they're not ready. They're not ready for a real mission because they completely botched the first attempt at, like, not even a mission, but it was just a practice run, basically. And his superior tells him, look, we don't need a bunch of you. We need your team because they're all individuals that we hand-selected, that you hand-selected. And when you're out on the field, you got to trust in them to do what their skills can help, help the team out. So that helps Duke out, get his mind right. But basically, this panel was really sweet. You have Destro and Duke, basically firing up their sides of the teams, and they're looking for this huge thing that has some energon, I would assume. But then their first mission, they have to go protect this object, and of course, once you know it, Cobra comes. And this was a really fun book. And in the last pages, I'm not going to say who it was, but someone does die, which was super surprising. And maybe I shouldn't even have said that, but, I really enjoyed this book. I'm not going to... 4 stars, really good. Go read it. G.I. Joe, it was really good. It was a really, really good first issue. And oftentimes I'm pretty harsh on first issues because sometimes a lot, especially nowadays, like to meander and do too much world building. But they've been doing it right with the story, with Duke and Cobra Commander and all of the other books. They built the world up already, so we can dive straight in and hit the ground running, and that's what they absolutely did within the pages of Duke. That's my second best book of the week. On to my favorite and best book, in my opinion. Of course, these are all just my opinion. We've got, and I do have a variant cover, number 1. This is number 1 best book of the week, The Uncanny X-Men, issue number 5. Again, this is a variant edition. The writer is Gail Simone, artist David Marquez, colorist Matt Wilson. And oh boy, this is awesome. Obviously, last issue, Sarah Gaunt beat the ever-living crap out of Rogue in the first page in this book, well, second page, I guess, showing that she is just beaten her. As you can see, I didn't even notice this at first. Her hand is detached from her arm. Absolutely, absolutely brutal. And she's left for dead. Sarah Gaunt is kind of taunting her, as villains tend to do. And the rest of the X-Men are at the Haven House in Louisiana. But basically, Sarah Gaunt, while she's messing up Rogue, her minions are descending upon the house with, Gambit, Jubilee, Nightcrawler, Rogue, all of the other younger ones like Calico, Deathstream. All those guys are at the Haven House. But while she is dealing with Sarah Gaunt, the little boy from the first issue, Harvey, is here. And basically, we realize, or he tells us, that he was much more powerful than he was letting on. And he could basically see the future. He also has some healing factor. He also had some just overall really powerful strength. And those were his abilities as a mutant. And he said it's so sad because he says inside this book, he says he saw his own funeral because he was able to see it through his parents' eyes. So he knew he was going to die, which is why when they touched, remember in the first issue, he and Rogue touched hands. He gave her some of his powers to help fight Sarah Gaunt. And that's just awesome. That's just absolutely awesome. The art, I'm trying to find some stuff that isn't too spoiler, but the art in the book is absolutely gorgeous. The coloring's great. I said it before. I'll probably say it again. Gail Simone, she's an absolute pro, and she knows, when I say she has a voice for the characters, each character talks like how you would imagine they would talk. Of course, Gambit has that Cajun accent, but Rogue has that Southern Belle accent and actually in this book, she's actually getting like dialect lessons or speech lessons to try and kind of erase it. But as Wolverine points out in this book, she doesn't need to change it. She's perfect the way she is. No, this book was awesome. This book was awesome. We had an awesome battle. It showed off Death Dream having an awesome moment where he just envelops some of the bad guys with his death. I don't know, death wave, and then Ember's here. It's awesome. This book is honestly kicking ass. I really, really, really enjoy it, and I think if you haven't picked it up, any of the issues, you definitely should. Gail Simone's crushing it. David Marquez on the art. This might be the best mainline X-Men book, and definitely one of the best creative teams with Gail Simone, David Marquez, and Matt Wilson all coming together, absolutely crushing it. Absolute awesomeness. 4 stars. Love this book. That is my number one. Just to recap, we do have X-Men issue 5. Awesome. I love what we're doing here. Gail Simone has an excellent voice for the characters. The art and coloring is beautiful. We're going to get a new story arc next up, and I'm really, really excited. Uncanny X-Men. Next up, though, at 2, we had G.I. Joe. Bombastic, fun. Didn't have a lot of exposition. This was a very action-packed book because we had those precursor books. Really, really love what they're doing with G.I. Joe, even though I'm not the biggest G.I. Joe fan. At number 3, cracking the top 3 for the first time ever for me, this is The Amazing Spider-Man 8 Deaths of Superman, issue number 61. Absolutely loving it. Joe Kelly crushing it. I knew he would. I didn't know he would, but I was very, very hopeful that he would, and I love what we're doing. The Reeds of Regatta going to come into play, and Spider-Man's got a brand new suit. Dr. Doom, what's not to love? Next up, just in my general, these aren't in any order, but we've got Transformers. Absolutely digging this story. Daniel Warren Johnson is a master of his craft, and I will forever and always say, if it's a Daniel Warren Johnson book, you better be reading it, because even if, like me, I wasn't a huge Transformers fan coming into this book, but oh baby, is this book a banger. Some seeds of dissent, not even seeds, we're outright seeing a mutiny within the Decepticons, so I'm really excited to see what happens next. And then we have Absolute Batman, Scott Snyder, Nick Dragotta, absolutely crushing it. I did get the Daniel Warren Johnson cover because, of course, I did. But, yeah, we're starting to build out really who our new Batman, who our new Bruce Wayne is, and I'm absolutely loving it. And the surprise sleeper hit of the week, Psylocke. This book was a joy. Action-packed. There was quite a bit of exposition, but not in a bad way. And I think that this book's going to be pretty dope. I was super surprised. But there you have it, folks. Thank you all so much. Again, I'm Alex. This is Graphic Novel Collector. If you enjoyed what you saw here today, make sure to like the video. Comment down below. Let me know what you're picking up, what you're reading. And, of course, subscribe if you like almost daily comic book and graphic novel content. Thank you all so much. we're chugging towards 600 subscribers. I appreciate you all for the support. Let me know in the comments below. Let's see. Daniel Warren Johnson. Just type in Daniel Warren Johnson if you made it this far. Thank you all so much. I appreciate y'all. Keep reading comics. Keep collecting graphic novels. And until the next one, I'll catch you all on the flippy flop. Adios, everyone.